So we're on our way to my friend Mario's house in South Central LA. He's someone I met playing Warhammer, and he's going to be bringing his friend Eddie. They grew up together playing Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering. They're total nerds. I'm a total nerd. So we're going to go nerd out at their house.
So I was telling them how that house used to be really gang infested at one point. It was this corner house.
One?
Yeah, there was drive-bys there at least 3 to 4 times a month. There was one time where it got so bad, I was like walking out with laundry. The bullet actually hit right here. Like you could see it right there. So I am Mario Rodriguez, and this is Age of Sigmar in a ghetto neighborhood. And this is how we play. It wasn't much of a drive-by. It was a kid walking down here and just pointing a gun at them while they were hanging in the porch and just shooting at them, slowly walking here, getting in a car and leaving. Yeah. And I'm like, crap, there goes my game day.
And how did you get into all this?
I got into it when my grandma and mom took me to the mall because like I needed like an escape from constantly being in trouble. We used to walk around with like you see like a chain like this. I used to keep a lock at the end of mine just in case. I would steal the little hammers from the MTA buses, the little emergency hammers, because they were so heavy. And you could put them at the end of this, so there's a mace.
Keychain, little flail.
And did you have an ankle monitor on when you went to the mall?
I had like a small little bracelet. And I got into like building old lowrider cars and old like B-52 bombers and stuff that I found.
Like little models?
My mom and grandma were always at the mall, at the Glendale Mall. So they're like, hey, we found a shop that sells the stuff you want and you have some money. Do you want to go and spend your money? And I was like, all right, I have nothing better to do. And I came back home with 2 fantasy boxes. Like, I hated weed. Like, it would give me horrible headaches. But I had a friend who it was perfect. I'll pull out the Stampa. I had a friend who I would buy weed off of for like $65. It was so bad. Like, that's why I hid it out here. Hopefully in a week, I would probably make 30 to 40 bucks. So that was enough to buy like 2 regiments. But this was my income to buy armies. We weren't like a traditional nerdy person or anything. We were like kids from a really bad LA high school.
I was at a school where everyone generally wore gang colors or like solid black. And I showed up in a bright orange sweater with like candy rainbow bracelets on because I used to go to raves. So they all thought I was gay. They just, They
left you alone.
Yeah.
So this is one of our original Naho Society members, King Drywall.
King Drywall.
King Drywall.
Yeah.
That was your name?
Yeah.
I went all of high school, people calling me Skaven. They live in these Nahos where they jump in and out of reality.
They have like an underground war.
So the garage, since it's so like tattered and beaten and you're coming into this bad part of LA, you're coming into the Naho. I got way better in my graffiti. For sure I was 13 when we did this one up here.
Yeah, no, you climbed all the way up there?
No, it wasn't me. This is Eddie.
I thought I was going to get laid one time because I didn't know anything about D&D. And she like walked up to me after school and she's like, hey, do you like role-playing? And I thought role-playing was all like sexual because porn. So I was like, yeah, I like role-playing. What's up? So she's like, yeah, she gave me her address and I was like, sweet. After school, like I ran to the liquor store and I was like, I need condoms and Gatorade. Like I was so fucking happy. And the guy's like, what size? And I'm like, biggest you got. And he's like, yeah, but like for real, what size? And I was like, normal. I ran over to like, like I'm here. And the door opens up, and their older brother's jacked guy.
He was short. He was like
short but he was still fucking jacked.
Yeah, he was.
And he opens the door, and he's just wearing a wizard robe and hat, and he's just fucking dong just hanging out. He's like, oh, hey, what's up? You're Eddie? You're here for the role playing? And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, all right, I guess I'll just take one of the sisters. Why not? And I walk in, and I'm like, why is she dressed like an elf?
Yeah, she was dressed
like why do you have a Viking house?
They would get into it. They were like,
and they're like, oh, you're here for the robe.
I don't know about him in the robe.
Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons before? And I was like, no, I'm about to learn.
So each of these models in Warhammer represents a soldier on a battlefield, and we're the commanders, we're the generals.
There's times where I text Ben and I'm in scrubs. I'm like, hey, you want to get a game? I had a shitty day. Let's play.
I mean, for me, I got into Warhammer when I was like 12, 13. I was like an isolated kid. I could sit and paint and be like alone and do my thing, but then it was social, and I could play games with people where I didn't feel pressured. It was really great.
We build backstories when we get into narrative games. Like my dwarves are addicted to warpstone, heroine of the fantasy world, and that's why they're rusted, because they stopped caring about their armor. And they were people that I saw out here getting addicted to drugs, but they're dwarves. I mean, like, I honestly didn't like going out as much. There was like shootings and all types of, there was no internet, there was no staying at home. This was our internet, this was our hanging out, this was our everything. Yeah, I had a high school friend, you know those Hell Bells thing? She started making it into a tea, and I'm already drunk on King Cobras because they're cheap to buy. We drank a whole big gulp of it. Within like 5 minutes, I couldn't feel my lips. I couldn't feel anything. I was numb. I just remember like going to the main street to come home and seeing cars pass by and opening my eyes, I'm across the street already. Yeah, our high school was predominantly, what was it, like 18th Street and Crips.
A lot of Crips. A lot of Crips. Yeah, there were hidden bloods.
It was a witch hunt. If they found out you were from a different neighborhood, you for sure that day were getting OT'd. You were getting your ass beat, and they were going to OT you. Like, I remember one time going to the bathroom, and it was covered in blood. Someone had just gotten stabbed a shit ton of times. There was a really cool teacher there called Mr. James. Have you ever seen Venture Brothers? He sounds just like the guy that hunts Blackulas. Loved this type of games, loved anime, opened our door. He took us to watch Lord of the Rings. Every time I hear his voice, that's exactly how he talks. He's like, oh, hell yeah, motherfucker, that looks dope. And like, best teacher I've ever had. Like, he even let us play in his class. There were 6 of us. There was me, Eddie, Oddjob, and the 2 brothers that lived across the street, and one other guy who disappeared slowly into drugs. But, you know, just us. Like Eddie could tell you, we would get jumped for our money or shoes. So we would want to wait or walk in big balls together, crossing the Mordor border. So we would wait in his class and watch anime or get little skirmishes of Mordheim, or Kilting didn't exist back then. So that was our thing.
Was it like 2001? Hampshire had beef with everybody. I heard rumors that like he was going to find like us and stab us, because that was his big thing.
And this was our like D&D group, our
nerd
like, group.
Oh, I heard, you know, you fucked up our friend, I'm gonna cut you up type of stuff. We showed up at this gig, and Hampshire's there like, what's up, bro? I'm gonna fuck you up, bro. And he pulls out this like 2-inch blade, and he's like, you fucking ready to go? You ready to go? And Skaven over here is like, reaches into his path, and he just like, whoosh, and you just see Hampshire like, he's like, ah! Just throws his knife on the floor and just fucking runs.
And he cut my leg too. Yeah. Like acting like this with the sword in me, like poking in and out and just waiting for the opportunity.
For some reason, they thought we were all like connected to a random mysterious gang.
We weren't. But it was that. It's like if you got punked in high school, especially here, and you let yourself, you'll constantly get punked. So you kind of have to learn. And it's funny too, because we were like, "Oh, he rolled a 6. He got a critical hit."
You're. I don't know if you know this, that you're a legend in the community.
Like out in the OC, I've made great friends. Out here, I've made great friends, who like I probably would have never met if it wasn't for this game. I try to. That's a friend that went down the wrong road. He was like what we call the big homie. He would guide us to be careful. Basically, teaching you street smarts. And now he's like the biggest heroin user out here. And I'm just happy I didn't go that route. I mean, I became a crackhead for plastic. Or as we called them, goblins. I guess it was a way of us talking or like coping with living here. We just called it Mordor. Called everyone who looked bad orcs. We're like, oh shit, an orc's coming, let's cross the street. We had a friend we met playing Magic the Gathering. We used to call him G-Mike. Antoine,
yeah.
Blood. Big B right here. Yeah. Blood all over.
As soon as we walk in, he's like, hey, young blood, what's up? Cuz y'all want to get a game on? Y'all play that Commander? What's up?
Exact same thing.
And I'm just like, you play Magic? He's like, yeah, dog. Check this out. I got this sliver deck. What's up? You about to get rolled, nigga. Let's go. And I was like, all right, yeah, fuck it. Let's play with this dude.
Nicest guy ever.
Super nice. Bought us drinks. Yeah. Hung out with us. But like everyone else at the card shop was kind of like,
no one was playing with him. He was at the edge.
Yeah.
I still get those looks. I still get in, like I walk into hobby shops with my armies and they're like, oh, what does this Chaos Warrior looking guy want? And I'm like, hey man, I came with my goblins to play a game. And then they like see my tattoos and they don't even notice they're like fantasy tattoos. And they're like, this is my love for goblins and American traditional tattoos. My good friend Jesse actually did this. He comes to play. And so it's a spider rider / because another oddity that I love tiki bars. Barrack Morn is the house of my dwarves. And the eels are my Ideneth Deepkin who ride eels into battle. So people see these tattoos and they're probably like, oh, that's great, like traditional work or something, but they don't know that I've invested into my world. $5.
Oh,
I'm good.
Mario. You're killing me here.
My wife loves it. She loves that I play and I'm like just hanging out, give her time. So like, and she knows I'm not like, this is my side hoe. That was our original place where we played.
Yeah, we in the backyard.
There used to be a roof up
So there was a lot of pigeons, and they were always shitting on us. I was like, you know what? I got a BB rifle. I think we could like scare these pigeons away. So I wrapped it in a shirt and I like brought it on the bus. And it was a chilly day, so I was wearing like my long raincoat, trench coat, if you
It was
will.
a trench coat.
Yeah. There's a bunch of kids, and they're looking at me, and I'm like walking by with my rifle, like, hey kids, with like this red hat that said Genius on it. And not even thinking, just gonna go kill these fucking pigeons, blah, 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 blah. You couldn't see us unless you moved the tarp. And we started hearing choppers everywhere, but we're like, wonder what's going on. That's weird. And we're just playing. And I moved the tarp, and as soon as I do, there's like 7 officers, all with like shotguns.
More, dude. It was like 10 of them.
Well, 7 of them were pointing their guns right at me, and I'm just like, do you guys want pizza? And they're like, we're looking for a man with a rifle. And I was like, yeah, I haven't seen him. You know, they're like, well, I'll let you know. They're like, yeah, he was wearing a trench coat. And I was like, was he wearing a red hat too? And they're like, yes, he was. Have you seen him? And I was just like, they took the BB rifle from us.
They broke them in front of us. They like snapped it in front of us.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there like in my mind, like, I paid $20 for that. It was a daisy.
Those reroll ones are pretty good for you, huh?
They're pretty gross.
All right, same thing.
Does everything else just disappear when you guys finish?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. When I'm here, I'm playing here. I don't want to hang out with some guy from the street. I have my friends I grew up with. I'm not going to give them up. I'll still say hi, hang out. But when it comes to this game, it's just get out. I'm going to play with my friends. Leave me alone.
Mario, what just happened?
I won for the very first time. And
Good
sent
game.
it to James.
You do need to take a picture. And what's dead?
Everything.
Can we get a swipe of everything that is dead?
That's what I love to hear. Random back noise and just people having fun. You know, it's fun to me.